Today I'm going to have a video on how to change the rear brake pads on my 2001 ZRX1200. The tools we're going to use to do this job for this brake caliper will be to have a 12mm socket, a 6mm hex. Got another hex there, a pick to push the pins out, a 12mm wrench, a set of locking pliers, regular pliers, and of course EBC brakes. There, I'm going to remove the whole caliper from its mounting brackets here and here, and on the brake torque arm, and then I'll be able to tip the caliper upside down and gain access to those pads. The first thing I will do is remove the plastic cover. Just pops off like that. And again, we should be able to see the pads underneath there, held in by two pins, spring clips. So let's get started taking the brake torque bolt off. This nut is a nylock nut. I'm going to have a wrench on the back here to hold it so it won't spin. I'm going to do that. Just a little tap. Remove that bolt. Next is to remove these two caliper mount bolts with a 6mm wrench. Just loosen those. Now the caliper can drop down and we can turn it over, and we can now see that we have two pads, some spring clips that hold the pads in place against these pins, and then there are two little clips here. Now to remove these, I'm going to have to depress down one of the springs. Once the first pin comes out, the second one's a lot easier. Now the pads, we'll just pull those pads straight up and straight out. Installation is the opposite of what we just did. drop one pad down, drop the second pad down. Pin, and it's important to know that there is a hole at the end of it, and that hole has to go on, in this case, the top, so which is the outside. And we want it to come down and slip underneath that pin and through to the other side and line it up. Line it up with the other side of the caliper. Okay, so one side is done. Now what we need to do for the other side is, again, make sure we've got the hole at the right end. When we go into the other side, we've got to make sure that this spring clip is depressed. Push that clip, the spring down, depress it with a screwdriver, and just get the pin to come through. We'll get to the next pad. Just depress that, got my thumb pushing the pin, just seat that into the other side there. Now we have our pads in position. I just want to put a little pressure on these to push the piston back in so that there's a gap for the rotor. Rotate this so I can see the hole to put the little clips in. Two little clips go right in there. Put one on one side. That on the other side. Make sure our pads are separated. Just pick that up. Get the brake torque mounted. Get that started. Next we've got this nut to put back on. Now the last thing which I didn't tell you guys was in the list of tools was you need a torque wrench. The owner's manual asks for 18 foot-pounds. So let's Pretty tight there. That's for 18 foot-pounds. On all three. The last thing is to put this cover back on. There you have it, set of brakes.